Archaeology is opening exciting new avenues as we increasingly explore the human past through the lens of multiple scientific disciplines. By collaborating with fields like chemistry, biology, geology, medical sciences, researchers are uncovering fresh insights into ancient lives. Today, we will speaking with an archaeologist who used stable isotope in teeth to reveal stories about diet, migration, and environment, showing how science is helping us to see human past in entirely new ways. Hello friends, today I am going to introduce you my friend Dr. Sangeeta Mahajan, an archaeologist. We often study past to plan our better future. And Sangeeta is working now pursuing her PhD in North Carolina University, who work as a dentist in Pune for last 25 years, a trekker, traveler, almost for 10 years she has engaged herself in Indology, archaeology and learning languages, Urdu literature, Persian, Chinese, Prakrit and so on. So now today she is pursuing her PhD in North Carolina University in human teeth isotopes for diet and mobility of Bronze Age population. She also has an administrator of ISO India, an online bank for published isotope database from Greater India, and recently published her book on a code document of Aurangzeb. So a good friend of mine, we did our MA Indology from Tirak Maharashtra Vidyapit and MPhil Archaeology from Deccan College. Though our subjects were different and Sangeeta stick to teeth only. A Punekari girl, a versatile person. So Sangeeta, what make you turn into archaeology?
I have been a dental surgeon for a very long time, almost 25 years. Though I was working as a dentist, I always had a passion for archaeology and learning languages since childhood. Um, but when I got the first opportunity, I grabbed it and I enrolled myself for MA in Ancient Indian History and Culture and then MPhil in Archaeology at Deccan College in Pune. And my being a dentist, my interest was working on teeth, and so my MPhil dissertation was based on isotopes from human teeth enamel from Chalcolithic India. And then there are multiple facets of a tooth in archaeology, like the ways you can study a tooth and make interpretations, which I found very interesting. So I am working on teeth as a part of my a PhD dissertation also.
So we both want to create awareness about archaeology and importance of archaeology in society. So what make you draw a data bank for isotope and the study towards?
Uh, some people feel that archaeology is a study of past and is not an applied science, but according to me, uh, to know where we stand in the timeline of Earth and the ways we came to be and which steps the humans took uh, were mistakes or which were the steps which uh, made the Homo sapiens survive this earth this long. I find this journey very interesting, and I think this is why we know where we stand as a human kind, and we where we want to reach in future. And I think we learn best from our past mistakes and the survival instincts they had, and so that we can plan our future better, knowing what worked well for humans and what not. So I think archaeology is very important, and nowadays it's becoming more of a science because multiple scientific disciplines are working together to know the past of human beings, which I find very interesting. Biology, which involves chemistry, which involves molecular science, and so many other disciplines, they work together to make conclusions about how the past population lived.
Now, how can a teeth tells about human past, and how can we learn from teeth society, human society? Uh,
Most of the archaeological excavations are in areas where the climate is not very suitable for preservation of the skeletal tissues. But tooth being made up of 99% inorganic material, it survives the test of time the best. So most of the times it's the teeth which we found are kind of intact and can be studied well. And not only that, because teeth are uh, formed incrementally, that means they are formed layer by layer. Throughout the life of an individual, we can actually peel out each layer to know what happened during that period of the time in that individual, and can make wonderful interpretations out of it. So teeth have multiple uses in archaeology, like we can make stable isotope studies, we can make biomolecular studies, we can learn about ancient DNA, we can learn about morphology of the tooth and know, we can say, traits which are typical of some populations to know where the person might have come from. Also histological studies which have like age determination by cemental annulations, sex determination by amylogenin, and there are so many different ways in which we can use the tooth to study the past. So it's, I think, in Indian archaeology, the use of tooth is underexploited. Like we could do much more about the teeth in Indian archaeology.
Can you explain about more about mobility? How a teeth tells about mobility?
Uh, I work on stable isotopes from tooth enamel. As I told you, it's deposited in layers over a period of time in life. So what we do is we take tooth enamel powder and we subject it to mass spectrometry, and we get strontium isotope values from the tooth. And strontium isotope values are typical of the bedrock where the human lived, or the plants and animals the human ate from that area. So if that person moves to some different distant location and spends rest of his or her time there, the teeth developing in the later part of his life will give different strontium values. So comparing those two values, we can certainly say that the person has migrated over a long distance to some other place. Or if we find multiple teeth in a grave, and one out of the other out of those teeth is having a different strontium signature than the rest of the others, we can say that person has traveled from a very long distance and was buried here in this tomb. So this is how we can make out whether the person has migrated or not.
This is very interesting that we can find the connection between two locations. So, what made you study abroad, and What are the difficulties you face in this journey of studying this?
So first thing is, in India we don't have archaeological schools who have which have their own laboratory infrastructure. So what we have to do is we have to depend on other disciplines like geology or oceanography to get our samples analyzed, and most of the times the collaborations are not very easy and very not very transparent, and then you have to rely on that particular institute's protocol. You have to wait for a very long duration to get the results. It's not really very easy, and also getting samples for your study as a student needs lot many permissions and kind of bureaucracy which you have to go through. So it takes a very long time to actually get the samples and get them analyzed. And this made me look for some other institutes where I can get that infrastructure and where I can get those um, positive work environment. So I chose for University of North Carolina for my PhD.
So, how do you see the future of archaeology through this study?
I think these are just the beginning of I think a vast number of ways we can study archaeological human remains, or for that matter biological. I'm into bioarchaeology, so bioarchaeological remains could be studied in multiple ways. And I think previously it was difficult to talk about migrations unless you had some actual artifacts traveling from one place to another. But now you can actually pinpoint whether an individual has migrated from one place to another or no. So these disciplines definitely make a lot of sense. Like age of an individual, demographic profile of an individual can be studied in much more detail because of these advanced techniques. So it is kind of evolving in India, but I think it still is taking a lot more time than what it is today in Europe or in US.
Is it possible that whatever archaeological work like pottery, bones, and other studies and archaeological material artifacts, uh, those studies and the stable isotopes from teeth, how can is this the another replacement for tedious work?
I don't think so. Like what we are doing is we're refining our interpretations with all these new methods. But actual archaeological fieldwork is the most important thing, because it is where we record the context, we record the artifacts, and we collect the biological specimens. So I think there is no replacement for that. But what we are doing is we are refining the interpretations based on our scientific techniques, and which is making much more sense to the archaeological context.
Another thing you are doing, you are learning multiple languages, Urdu literature, Persian languages, Chinese, and Prakrit. So, how do you relate languages to archaeology, and what is the importance?
Actually, I started learning languages because of ancient Indian history, because most of the documents in ancient Indian histories are either in Persian or Chinese. And of course, I am personal fan of Urdu poetry, so I wanted to learn all these languages so as to learn more about the history. And there are so many documents in these languages which are still not read, and there are we are short of scholars who could read these documents. So I thought I should start reading this. So I started learning Persian language. Most of the Mughal documents are in Persian. So that helped me a lot. And Chinese chronicles are mostly from where we get our uh, information for Indian past. So Chinese is also very important. So that is what I am learning, but I'm still in the process of learning that. So this made me learn the languages.
Tell us about your latest book.
So recently what we did is we started reading the Mughal documents of Emperor Aurangzeb, and there are few thousand documents available in the different state archives. So recently the Bikaner State Archive has opened these documents online for people to study. So we started from document 1, and we actually read and translated first 100 documents, and we published the book. The problem with that is it's not a printed or well written document. It's kind of a shorthand and a cursive kind of a Persian, where it takes a lot of time and lot of efforts and to read those documents, to make sense of it. So it took us almost 3 years to write, to translate these 100 documents, and finally my book is out, which is the court letters of Aurangzeb, which is in co-authorship with Mr. Rajendra Joshi, which is recently published by Bhandarkar Institute of Oriental Research.
So, what are your future research you are now doing? And
I'm interested in learning more about how I can work with teeth more to know more. So I'm into scanning electron microscopy, then ancient DNA. So I want to learn those things more, which I have not got an opportunity to do as yet, and widen the horizon for myself. Yeah.